Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Roy Wanguhu. And today, for my guest, I have DK, or officially DeKeydrick Curry, a cinematographer, great collaborator, can do a lot. So, and that's why we have him here, just to kind of understand what he takes to do what he does and, what excites you in the industry. But I'll also let you introduce yourself a little.
Um, my name's DeKeydrick Curry. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I was born out in Seattle, but I'm just a Southern boy just trying to make it happen.
And what are you making happen?
uh, well, when I started in the industry, I initially wanted to be an editor, and then they said you got to be organized, and I said that ain't me, Jack. But I always found a fancy to like doing camera work and learning the technology side and all the technical aspects of doing filmmaking. So I kind of just found my way into cinematography and just kept at it and kept getting opportunities to practice the craft. So, yeah.
With the thought process of what got you into the industry?
Short story is I basically told my parents I was bored with basketball, but I was taking a film class in high school, and it kind of just, I was like, oh, I could do this for a living. Initially, I thought I was going to go into the sciences or like astronomy or marine biologist, but I was like, oh, I can do this and I don't have to be behind a desk. I'm going for this. This is more fun. I get to be as creative as possible and just learn a lot about all these different things too. So that's kind of the short story of it. But I always felt I had this nature to just do storytelling. Like even when I was a kid, I'll play with toys and
Yeah.
create all these narratives, and they had like these anime style fights, and just like I constantly kept watching cartoons. When my mom wanted to do modeling, I did like her first headshots with like a throwaway Polaroid.
Wow.
I was like 12 years old. She was like, "Yeah, I need headshots for this. Could you take my pictures?" And so in our living room, I just took pictures of my mom, and it was like her first headshots to submit to an agency.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that story. That's hey, that's the beginnings of everything, right? That sparks the interest.
yeah. And even like during the summers with my dad, we would just watch movies, and we'll have like the movie of the summer where we're just quoting it. It'll be like Norbit, Friday After Next, what's it, Nacho Libre with Jack Black.
Yes,
So
yes,
we just
yes.
have like these favorite lines of like it's Easter, you stepped on my cheese. So yeah, so I think that kind of got me into the idea of like, oh, I can make movies.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad always had this saying of like, he said, it's crazy how you'll watch a whole 2 hour movie,
Yeah.
but you'll only remember a few lines. And that's what you want to achieve is that moment of those few lines. Like that's the pivotal part of your story. So yeah.
Hey, that's. And then what was the next steps from that?
So next steps, once I like graduated and broke everybody's heart because they thought I was gonna be, a Memphis Grizzly.
Yeah.
But
Hey, they had high hopes.
man, high hopes and a lot of years invested. But after that was I ended up moved from Memphis to San Francisco for college. And kind of when I was planning college, I was looking at like Atlanta or LA. And it was one of those things of I didn't know anybody in Atlanta. LA I felt was too far from my dad. So when I chose San Francisco, I was like, all right, I'm close enough with my dad. I can get closer with him, have that time to catch up, get to know him while also going after this thing that I think is going to work out for me.
Yeah. No, that's pretty good. And come in film school.
So yeah, film school. I went to the Art Institute of San Francisco, now
Okay.
shut down, student
Yeah.
loans forgiven. And so, yeah, I felt like a lot of people gave a lot of, how can I say? A lot of people didn't like the school.
Okay.
And part of why they shut down is like they kind of told people you'll get these experiences or you'll get these type of jobs.
Yeah.
And in a way, it was fraud and the numbers proved it. And so that's kind of why it shut down. But I feel like I got a good understanding of what filmmaking is,
Okay.
especially with the simplest tools. Like my first camera that they gave me, and it was for photography, was a Canon T1. And I'll
Okay.
take the Canon T1 and try to do video with that and still practice photography, still understand like the, your core basics of composition, ISO, aperture, what's depth of field mean. So I would practice with that camera until they gave us an HMC 150,
Okay. Okay.
which is what I used most of my time in that school, and then eventually the HPX 170, both Panasonic cameras.
Yeah, I love those. I had both of those.
Yeah.
It was interesting time.
Yeah.
That's when they released P2 cards.
Yeah. See, and I'll use the HPX because it came with the card in our rental.
Okay.
So the HMC 150, they made us buy our own SD cards. So I kept losing them.
Oh,
So I was like, well, shit, I
are
don't
those
got.
things expensive at that time? Because
I think
SD cards were
for-
still, and you're limited, right? Like, what was 64 or 128?
It's like 64. So even me trying to buy like a 32 broke as hell in college, it was like, do I eat or do I buy this 32 gig SD card? So eventually I figured out, because I think our HPX 170s were either 2 or 4 gigabyte, but I figured out certain settings to keep maximum bit rate
Mm-hmm.
while also getting more storage on the card.
Yes, the game.
So it was like, I think full out 1080i or whatever it was. I think you got like 30 minutes of record time.
Okay.
And so I tweaked the settings and ended up getting like an hour and a half.
Okay.
And I couldn't tell you what I did now, but I was like, oh, you can get so much more footage out of this camera. And yeah, and I taught the whole class that. And after that, people started renting the HPX more. And I was like, I wish I would have just stayed
Kept it.
quiet.
Stay with it. What kind of stuff were you doing at that time?
So I think it was one of those things of like, learn everything. Any and everything that the school has to offer, you have to know something. And I have a very like good rule of thumb of like understanding the language of everything, just so you know a little bit to have the right communication with someone who's better with you, or better at that thing than you. So even for like audio, I learned enough so I feel like if I talk to audio engineers or people in the field, I could just explain what I need to tell them in their language, so we can have a more efficient and concise conversation about how to get the best thing out of that project. So I did a little bit of everything from audio. Once people figured out I was interested in camera, I did more camera stuff. I didn't really touch lighting too much, but I understood it. And after a while, like a guy I used to play basketball with when I moved to Emeryville, and that was the first place I stayed. I had to learn Bart and all that.
Okay.
His mom wanted to do this reality show called Church Girls.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there with like this casting director, his mom. I'm like 18 at the time. And she's like, yeah, we're going to pitch this to Steve Harvey and we're going to get out a loan for like $100,000 so you guys can get the gear that you need so you guys can own it.
Okay.
And yeah, we're going to do the reality show. So every day, or not every day, but like every other day or so, whenever I was available, I was taking the Ari for nails.
Okay.
So like a 1K,
Yeah.
2 500s or 250. So 3 cases of those
Okay.
on Bart.
What?
Yeah. 3 cases of those, 3 Manfrotto tripods, and 3,
On a cart, or you were lugging
man,
them around?
the strength. The strength of the Lord was with me.
Hey, you were making church girls.
And so
So
the other
it wasn't
part,
even church women?
so the reason it's called Church Girls because they were kids of pastors.
Oh, got it. Got
So,
it.
yeah,
Got it.
but the women were definitely like 50 plus.
Okay.
They were definitely 50 plus. So yeah, I had to carry like 3 of those RE cases, and around this time I started to like recruit a little team around me. A good friend of mine, Josh Bays, and the audio guy was another guy named Patrick Perry.
Mm.
And so it was 3 of us, and then I just started expanding. Like I ended up recruiting my old friend Ryder
Yeah.
as just an additional camera. He brought in a friend who did audio engineering as well to help with like composing and some field mixing during the time.
Okay.
So yeah, we was running it with just HPX 170s, um, RE hot lights. So
Okay.
I'm learning how to like just, oh, it's too bright on them, just bounce it off the wall and it'll soften it. Dropping scrims, sometimes gloveless because I always lost my gloves. And we'll have like the Matthews flags and silks. So that was the way we would like soften light.
How many did you burn?
I didn't burn any.
You didn't burn any of those hot lights?
I paid attention. I was good at being able to like, oh no, it's too, you gotta like bring some distance between those. So I was good with that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of kids burned them.
Oh yeah.
Paid attention real well.
Oh, like I'm not paying for that one.
And this is also me like not knowing exactly what all the flags do.
Okay.
So I'm over here using nets to try to soften the light. And I was like, oh, it's still too harsh. Just bounce it and then we'll put the net in front of the bounce.
Hey, you're slowing down how hard it's hitting the subject. So,
but it was super interesting being able to do that because at the time, like I felt like I was one of the few people. Like another good friend of ours is Eduardo Castillo over Uncia. He kind of inspired me because he was the only one to do a feature film in that school.
Okay.
Like for his senior thesis.
Okay.
And for our senior thesis, the idea was you had to make it a short.
Yeah.
And so he was like, nah, I'm going to do a feature. And so
okay, that's bold.
I was inspired by
That's
that.
bold.
And for me, like going to class and managing my grades and stuff, I was still like, I'm finna shoot this reality show. I'm finna make $100,000 because I'm 18. I'm finna make $100,000 off of this. Like
that's what you promised.
To me, that was guaranteed.
Yes.
And I was gonna buy like the first Blackmagic 2.5K with the handles and all that. So we had a plan.
Yeah.
We started a little company. It was called Afro Film Productions.
Okay.
I had a friend of mine who did graphic design, did the logo. We took a picture of like me, and my afro was way bigger then. Like took the picture of me. He like graded it out, silhouetted it out, and it was like play, stop, record, and pause like within the logo.
Okay.
It was like Afro Film Productions.
Is this the one we found at when we went to soundstage?
The card is still at Soundwave.
It's called Soundwave.
Yeah.
Soundwave. It was like on their bulletin board. There was a card right there.
The funny part is like Roy saw it and it had my old like Memphis number and he was like, "How many jobs did you lose off of this card?" I was like, quite a bit. Quite a bit. I was like, I hope they're not still calling that number. And
like someone is annoyed somewhere. It's like, stop calling me for video production.
But the creative in me is kind of like, I hope it's like some old woman, some old black woman in Orange Mound who has that phone number and is getting called about film production in California.
It's like, in California? No, I can't come there.
And I hope that old lady is inspired to make her own movies one day.
Oh my God. So you finished film school.
Oh, I did not finish film school.
Okay.
I've never finished.
So let's talk about the 100 the church girls.
Yeah.
How did that go? Where can we watch it?
So I think I do have the trailer still up on my YouTube. So basically it kind of, how can I start it? So I'm just throw this in here real quick. We used to carry all this equipment up to the Fillmore because that's where I was staying at the time.
Okay.
So since moved from Emeryville, carried those 3 cases, the 3 tripods, the 3 cameras, and all the sound equipment, just lugging it, just the 3 of us, all the way to Fillmore. Some days it was walking, some days we took the bus. And a lot of people was like, "You're not afraid of getting robbed? You're not afraid of getting robbed?" I was like, "I'm from Memphis. Like, I ain't afraid of nothing." And
that's the energy.
And, you know, the interesting part, too, was like, because I may look cleaned up, but Memphis is straight hood. So sometimes I do have that hood mentality. But in a way, it kind of, and I say that to say, like, you get respect from your community when you're doing something positive.
That is true.
And people often can overlook that because so much negativity and so much of the stigmas of what it is. It is what it is,
Mm-hmm.
but the stigmas of what it is kind
Mm-hmm.
of, put a blinder on people.
Mm.
And so a lot of times, well, eventually, my dad would say I got known as the Afro man with the film gear
Mm.
and Fillmore.
Yeah.
And, I felt good hearing him say that. I feel good talking to people like, hey, they recognize like, oh, you got film cameras, oh, you got lighting, what you do? What you in school? Hey man,
Exactly.
keep it going. You know what I mean? Keep it going. You inspired me to do something. I'm over here fixing cars. I haven't finished this car in 2 years. So, you get these crazy stories and you meet like all these different characters that
Yeah.
I feel like made me feel at home.
Mm.
And even when I'm doing projects out in Oakland, I always say like Oakland's like a second home to me because the nature of what it is something that I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
And, when you start to meet just the people of those neighborhoods and of that life, you kind of, in a way, they see you trying to do something. They see you trying to do something
Exactly.
better than what it
True.
is that's here.
That is true. And we experienced that. Was that Bayview?
Hunters Point.
Bayview Hunters Point, right?
Mhm.
Shooting there, and we decided to go for lunch at a chicken place
JJ's.
at JJ's.
Mhm.
And that was interesting, right? Because I still had the medium format camera,
Mhm.
and I'm like, oh, found ourselves out with it. Let's see how we can walk through. And they're like, oh, you guys are photographers. There's that, like, keep doing what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
There's, the we always assume each person has is ill-hearted, but a
Mhm.
lot of these people are championing you as a young. We're not as young as we used to be,
No.
but still the young people trying to do something, trying
Mhm.
to build something. You know what I mean? It's because they're like, yeah, keep doing what you guys are doing. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't that fear of they might take it. It was
Mhm.
like, I need you to succeed.
Yeah.
Like keep pushing on. You have a job, you're doing something more. You're trying to better yourself. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And you'll always have those champions in different neighborhoods.
Mhm.
You know, so moving on to films.
Mhm. So,
So which one was your first one?
my first film was, so technically my first film was a thing called On the Court.
Okay.
On the Court, I actually acted in it.
Okay.
I was to quickly tie Church Girls together. Basically, the lady was trying to use my credit score to get some money, get the loan out.
Oh wait, you guys were part of the loan.
Yeah. So she was
Oh,
leveraging my credit score to get the loan out. She was a business consultant.
was
That
she
was
a
her.
church lady or
That
was
was her
she like
job title.
business? Dang,
Um,
that's tough.
and it was getting to the point to where I was about to get ready and get kicked out of school. Like
Okay.
I'm thinking I was like, hey, could you help me pay for my schooling? Like I'm doing the work, Like if I'm not in school, we don't have the gear, so we can't
Yeah.
do the show.
Yeah.
So I was like, could you help me? Because my dad, he can no longer do it.
Yeah.
And at the time, he was working like 5 jobs.
Wow.
So I was like, could you, can you help? Can you
Yeah.
pay?
Yeah.
And so
Because you're banking on this.
she's saying, yeah. She's sending checks to the school and stuff.
Oh, she
And
was.
so when I got there, turns out when I talked to accounting, they was like, hey, these checks have been bouncing. And I remember it was one day, me and my friend Pat, we came out, did some jobs for her, and she paid us with a bounce $200 check. And so I was just like recounting on all that, and I was like, yeah, we're going to have to kind of part ways. And like we had this whole fight. I went back and forth with her son, who I was really close with. Like, honestly, like one of my first friends out here. So I had this whole back and forth. And I was like, yo, your mom's trying to get over on me. I ain't trying to get over on y'all. I was like, and then me, Josh, and Pat, we all got together, put together like how much she owed us for render work days. Like we remembered the dates. We remember when we rented out gear. We used the calendar and all that. And it totaled to like 14 bands.
Anything
And I
come
was
out
like,
of it?
no. Like even too, I told him, I was like, if she's writing bounce check, y'all expecting 14 bands? So I was like, So yeah, it kind of, in a way, put a sour in my mouth, but eventually led me to drop out for the first time
Okay.
in like 2013. So I'm trying to find my way. I'm hanging out with friends. We're making music. This is when I'm doing music and stuff. We're making music, and I'm just trying to find a way to get back into my original community, my
Okay.
original circle to stay on task.
Yeah.
I moved out here from Memphis to do this thing.
Yeah.
This is what
This
I was
is
made
it.
for.
Yeah.
And Eduardo, he was starting up on the court. He was like, "Hey, Facebook, I need some actors. I need some people to help.
Mm.
Can you do it?" I was like,
Mhm.
"Shit." I drove my broken down Neon up to Fremont from Hollister
Yeah.
to act in like a few days
Okay.
of on the court. And
Okay.
so that was kind of my first job back. And I think another friend of ours, Ben, he had to like break away to New York for a job, and he needed this still on the court. And Eduardo was like, "Oh yeah, can you shoot a couple of days for on the court?" And
Yeah.
I stepped in and shoot, and I was like, "This is what I'm meant to do."
Okay. Okay.
So on the court is technically my first movie, but my first movie as DP was Hunting Season.
Okay.
Originally Fair Chase. That was the original name of the movie.
It changed the name.
Yeah. Distributor had us change the name.
Okay.
We'll get more into
We'll
that.
get more into that. Yeah. So there's the film,
Hunting
and we were
Season.
talking about hunting season, and it changed.
Yeah, so Hunting Season, still same beat up Neon. I'm over here working at JC Penney's or whatever. And I was just like, oh, I hate this job. I'm like this how bad I was at JC Penney's. They only put me on the weekend, but I only worked 4 hours. So I got 8 hours out of a weekend.
Oh, really?
And I got to be driven from Hollister to go do that.
By who?
My dad or my stepmom. Eventually, when I got my Neon, I was doing it myself.
Okay.
But yeah, no. So Eduardo, he's writing Hunting. Well, they do Hunting Season. This is my first time ever seeing a red. By this time, I got like a T3i, a MacBook Pro that has 4 gigabytes of RAM.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm not editing anything. I think I had Premiere Elements.
Okay.
I don't know if you know
I
what
said,
Premiere
yeah,
Elements
no, I
is.
remember.
But I had Premiere Elements, so yeah, nothing was getting edited. But I understood Premiere. I think it was like a random Thursday before we getting ready to shoot. I meet where media meets, so Ramesses Head,
Okay.
Pharaoh Powell, James Rockefeller. So I meet all 3 of those guys that one day, and Ed Sparks, can't forget him. And there's a red one in my face, and he's like, "Well, this is the camera we're using.
Okay.
Have you ever worked with red?" And I said, "No, but I've seen one once."
I've seen one. Hey, that's all it takes.
And he was like, "Well, here's where all the buttons. This is how you record. This is the media. You gotta eject it before you just rip it out. So this is how you use it. This
Yeah.
is the batteries it take. Those V mounts. And it's all EF. And I got these Rokinon lenses.
Yeah.
All that. So this is first cinema lenses, first cinema camera,
You're like, I made it.
and never.
Filmmaker.
And so boom, this is 3 hours, random Thursday. We shooting Sunday. Basically it was like, oh yeah, the DP isn't coming, is what Eduardo came and told me. And I was first AC. So I was just ready to just swap lenses, give batteries, carry the tripod. I'm just ready, just help out, just be there. And it's like, so he was like, "So you're the DP now?" I went, "Oh, I wasn't prepared." And
I said I've seen it. You know,
like,
I had to use it.
I just learned it. And so the first shot is of Miguel Nunez. Me being an urban kid who watched a lot of urban movies in my lifetime, Miguel Nunez might as well have been Morgan Freeman, you know what I mean? So I'm like, the dude from Joanna Man, that's who I'm shooting. They was like, yeah, Miguel Nunez. I was like, you telling me my first shot is Joanna Man? So it's this dolly shot. He's like looking at these boards. He's like an FBI director or something. He's like looking at this board of like suspects and stuff, and and so I'm like getting it as careful as possible. We do the first shot, I'm like, did I do it? As soon as he yelled cut, he was like, Eduardo was like, yeah, that was it. Yeah. And I went, all right, I'm ready. So just that initial jump from just Thursday, I knew a T3 out very well.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
now, oh, I know how to operate a red, and it's more simple than my T3. Like the menus made sense, the color made sense, everything made sense about this camera.
Uh-huh.
So I was just sitting there like, okay, let's do it. So we shot this whole entire movie in 9 days. Not only
Okay.
did the first day was Miguel Nunez, guess who else showed up? Pinky from Friday. So
What?
now I'm shooting Joanna Man and Pinky from Friday
Man.
and,
You're
and
like,
using a red camera. I'm like 19 years old. I'm just like, bro, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Everything I'm doing is theory and guesswork. And like I'm like looking at the monitor, like I'm directing lighting. Don't know what the hell I'm doing. Just yeah, that look good. That look good. Do it tungsten. Do it tungsten real quick. Yeah. Then you got to up your vocabulary a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go CTB on this one. I'm gonna go CTB. It's like like the dude who was doing the lighting was like, what does CTB mean? Make it blue. Make it blue.
Make it blue.
Go do 5600. We're gonna do 5600. And Aperture, great company. And this was the thing I liked about Ram, because Ram was always like on the cutting edge of film tech.
Okay.
This is before they were Aperture. They were still Amaran, and they made like these little light panels that
Okay.
were cool
Yeah.
because they had, one, they were bicolor, and two, they operated off the Sony batteries, the Sony NPFs, so the big backs. And so we would just charge those, stick them wherever we needed to, and just, man, it was easy because most of the locations were outside.
Yeah.
And so, and we nicknamed it, excuse my language, Shitback Mountain, because it was like a cow ranch. And it was just like cow pies up and down this.
Where is this at?
This was in like between Fremont and Niles.
Got it. Okay.
And so part of like the growing pains of like this movie was I'm like carrying this 36-pound tripod. Yeah. I'm not as buff as I am now.
Yeah.
But I'm carrying this like 36, 46-pound tripod up mountains.
Oh no.
Or like up this just steep hill.
Yeah.
And then I got to go set this tripod up to go get these specific shots.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The camera wasn't light.
Camera was not light. But somehow I was doing
that's the original red one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was.
And then we had a venting tripod too.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah. And, here's the best part. It was
Which
96 degrees.
Okay, but the excitement in the filmmaking.
Well,
Who was the DP who dropped out?
I don't want to say his name.
I was gonna throw him out there because
He's a good friend of mine, and I don't want to say his name.
I knew who he was, but I was like, I'm not gonna throw you in there. I was gonna call out Ben, but I was like, you know what?
Don't say his name.
Because I remember the story.
So here's the thing too. Ben was the first guy I met in college that was in my major. He was a grade above me. There was doing us the tour, was going to the cage, and I see him down the hall. He's like, "Hey, what's up, man? Like, you gonna go to school here?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "What are you studying?" "Film." I was like, "Oh, I'm in film." He was like, "Where you from? Cause you got like an accent." I go, "Memphis." He went, "You from Memphis?" Annie. There's another girl named Annie who was also from Memphis in the film program.
Okay.
And so she walks out the cage, and I'm like, how is it that two people from Memphis is in this school? But how I learned about the school was through through high school.
Okay.
Because the dude came and was like, yeah, go to this awesome school. You get to learn filmmaking and play all day.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, I want to play all day.
That is
I want to learn
hilarious.
film.
So Ben introduced you to the other Memphis person in the school.
So the first two people I meet that's in the program were black people. And I was like, for sure.
Because it feels like, I feel like other than just getting the theory or the information from film school, it's about community, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the people that you meet from there that it's just a pot or like just a hub for people to build that network, right? Of how to go. When you leave that place, it's at least you have a starting point, right? For most places.
Yeah.
And to you, so you're already making films. So to understand a little bit of your journey of like what what made you want to continue doing that, right? Like, okay, you've done one and you're yet to finish the hunting season,
Mm-hmm.
right? So how did that go? And then what was next after that?
So after finishing hunting season, I thought I was in Hollywood. I thought, next step was like, all right, cool. I already did this movie. The next one is already down the line. Because through this movie, I met one of my good friends, Malik, who was so actually I was the third choice to be DP on this film because Malik was the second choice. But he was in Ethiopia at the time.
Okay.
And
So who was the first choice?
first choice was Ben.
Uh-huh.
Second choice was Malik.
Uh-huh.
He was in Ethiopia.
Uh-huh.
And I was the third choice. And so even like meeting Malik then, he was very like combative. He was questioning me. Like he was like, in a way, he was just kind of like, do you know what you're doing?
Mm.
And I looked right at him. I looked right at Malik and I went, no, I don't. But this is the shot that we're going to get. So this is what we're going to do. He was like, are you sure? I went, I'm the one behind the camera. Yeah.
Back in those days, Malik was so fucking. He was so pushy, bro.
But I learned to like, because even for me, like I'm not finna argue. I don't care. I'm not arguing.
Let me ask you that because you mentioned Eduardo
Mm-hmm.
and Ram.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the same? Because I thought there were
So
two different.
They weren't the same circle. They are two different entities. And
No,
they-
yeah, because as I and this is me from you guys, the connection of like Eduardo is Fremont and then Ram also.
It's Oakland.
But there's a common link, which is all the feature films that are done between Hood Films and you
Mm-hmm.
know. But then this is just my clarification because you added him into that part, and I was trying to understand that circle because I know the Ram world and it's a different kind of world that we've met each other, and that was like Oakland directors and filmmakers trying to come together to build a collective of all these Oakland filmmakers, but everyone was a director in that room, so it was directors arguing over who's going to start on the first film,
And I
who's going
definitely
to
worked on it.
direct the first film. So that killed the collective to start with. And I was young, I think I'm younger than most of them, and I just wanted to shoot. But
Yeah.
it was every meeting that we go to, it was just directors. And the only other person who was a cinematographer in that room that I remember was Sam Styles.
Huh. I mean, and even technically, Ram is a cinematographer. Like he knows his stuff very well.
He does, but in that room, everyone was like, they wanted to shoot, but it was the controller's chair,
Yeah.
right? Like and everyone was in there for the opportunity of the first film. The idea was good. Like you can balance each other off by, okay, there's this one film, let's put our energies into this one. We see that one start and do A, B, C, and D.
Mm-hmm.
But who's going to start? That
Yeah.
becomes the biggest question, right?
Especially in a room full of directors. Like I worked on
think-
projects where it's like 80 directors, but
And-
I'm the only technically skilled guy there. So.
I know you show up on set and everyone wants his fancy job, but it's I think it also goes to the person controlling the set or the power.
Yeah.
It's like, and then there was some of us who just wanted to make movies. I
Yeah.
just want to shoot, But to yours, so hunting season. Let's finish that part.
So there's two other like big celebrities. So there's 4 celebrities in this movie.
They're still adding more.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
we bring in Eric Roberts, Julia Roberts' brother, if you don't know who he is. He was also in, I seen him in something recently, and I was like, oh, he getting a check now. And then,
He getting a check now.
and the other guy was Tom Sizemore. Man, Tom Sizemore gave us, all right, Tom Sizemore gave us 2 40-minute monologues the second he shows up.
2 40-minute. Okay.
Yeah.
Are they based on the film or just?
He did a good job of tying it in. The first thing he does is ask for a toothbrush. Like, if y'all know, Tom Sizemore was passed away, but he had a battle of like addiction and stuff, right? It was always on cocaine and heroin
Okay,
and stuff like
okay.
that. But the moment he gets there, this is my bright-eyed impression of Hollywood. He's like, "Yeah, man, does anybody got a toothbrush? Got an extra toothbrush I can use?" And I was like, man, what a professional. He's worried about his hygiene, his quality of the work. He wants to make sure he looks right.
Okay.
He comes out the bathroom, gives us his first 40-minute monologue. I'm at 40% on the card. And he's just going and talking, slur this, slur that, LGBT slur here. I'm just like, we got to cut out all of this.
Okay.
But he's just sitting there playing with his nose and doing all of this. And I look at the director, I go, Ed, this man on coke. He was like, what? Yeah, this man on coke. Watch this second take, and this man is on coke. We did the second take, and Ed went, oh, okay. That's what we're working with. So we start this day at like 7 a.m.
Okay.
I give the car to Ram.
Okay.
Because Ram's doing DIT. I was like, I need another one. He was like, we only did 2 shots. I know.
I need another one.
I need another one. This man went for 40 minutes both times. We have 80 minutes of this rant that we can't use.
I know myself and the viewers have one question. The toothbrush.
Oh yeah.
So what's that for?
You get a little cocaine on there and you line your gums. Yeah.
Ooh.
So yeah, that's
Why just not
just
cocaine?
snort it.
So you snort it, yeah.
But yeah, this time because some people will like line up.
Oh yeah, I've
around
seen
their
that in
gums
the
too.
movies.
Mm-hmm.
So by using a toothbrush, is it he doesn't want to get his
I
hands
guess it's more
dirty?
efficient. I don't know.
He's like, he doesn't want to get his
I guess
hands
it's
dirty.
more practical to do it that way. Yeah, that's a good point too. Residue.
He's
That makes a
clean addict.
Yeah.
But I learn all it's so interesting, right? And not to segue, but culture, I think just origin of, I spent most of my time, I grew up in Kenya, right? Coming here, there's also that cultural change or the cultural lack of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like I'm always curious, I'm always asking, but it's always become like you're the default question guy. I'm like, hey, what is this? How is this? Because you grew up here, you have a sense of this, and it gives a different shift to it. Because for us, we didn't have. Okay, I didn't exist with people who actually did it, so it was in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
But you come here and you're seeing it everywhere. That and crack and all these kind of things that we saw in the movies. But now, you're seeing the reality of it, but you don't have the understanding. So the curious part is always asking the questions as to what that means.
Which it makes sense because even to like, by the time I was in high school was the first time I was integrated into like a full on black and white system where it's like half and half. Most of my schools were all black growing up. And then when I got to high school, I had a lot of like country white friends that didn't understand certain black slang. So me and my friends who just moved from South Memphis and East Memphis and all that was a lot of time explaining certain rap songs. So I just always knew how to explain it.
Okay. Stay fresh with the culture.
And it goes back to master of language of just of just a basic understanding of what something is, just so you can communicate it.
That's true. A lot of people don't know you in music.
Yeah.
So how did that go from music to film, or was it film? I'm bored, I'm going to music, and then coming back?
No, it was just something to do. I was just hanging out with the homies. I've always before film, I was gonna do music, but I knew so many people who rapped. I knew so many people who made music. I was just like, y'all need music videos. Like I'm analyzing the market. Y'all need music videos. I'm finna do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to own my own TV network. I'm finna do that. So it just that back and forth of like knowing what the demand was versus what can help a person kind of formulate itself. So I was always decent at rapping growing up. I started rapping at 7, and it just stemmed from hating on Lil Bow Wow. Lil Bow Wow was getting all the girls, and I was like, I can rap too. And
Okay.
started rapping.
There was a goal to it.
Yeah, and then like literally like the week before we just learned poetry in elementary school.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, I can put fox and box together, cat and hat,
Make
this
it
and that.
rhyme. It's like, hey, I have much respect for that. I know I cannot do any of it.
But for I guess for the stint I did it,
Yeah.
it's like 2013, hanging out with the homies. We freestyling in the room, just throwing on beats from YouTube, just going back and forth. We're doing this for hours.
Yeah.
And two of my homies were actually true recording artists. Like they've made records, they made albums, they made mixtapes,
Yeah.
they've DJ'd sets. So, and they perform. So they was like, hey, why don't you come in and make a song?
Okay.
I made one. I'm very shy about putting out stuff still to this day.
Okay.
And, you know, we put it out. It was well received beyond my expectations.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, all right, cool. I think I can do this. So I just started writing my own lyrics, started putting together my own verses, trying to put together my own songs, eventually try to do a project. And I also like just perform with the homies too.
Oh, wow.
So my first stage performance, my verse came on.
Yeah.
I wasn't on stage. I was in the back filming.
Yeah.
Because the videographer we had at the time was like, hey, I'm about to go perform. Can you shoot my performance?
Yeah.
And I go, yeah, sure. I'm the only other videographer guy in the group. So I'll film it.
Okay. You got pulled off stage.
Little did I know, my verse was right after his.
Oh, no.
And so my homie Q, he was like, hey, bro, your verse is about to come up.
Yep.
I can shoot the thing. If you don't shoot, I'm not finna trust you. So my homie Q doesn't shoot. And so he was like,
If you
but
don't
I can shoot it.
I'm not going to trust you.
So I was like, all right. So I handed him the camera. And I'm just watching people react to my verse in the song. And it's like, it went from a cool crowd to a hype crowd. And they're all jumping up and down and super excited, super pumped. And I'm like, oh. So I hand Q the camera and I like run on stage. And I like just jumped out in front of the crowd and then just like, I'm a shy person. I'm very timid. I'm very soft-spoken. When I'm on stage, I'm a whole different person.
Okay.
So eventually I learned that about myself and learned how to have more stage presence when I'm on stage or flip the switch to be, I don't know. I guess if you're a rapper, you want to be a star.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that I just kind of activate in the back of my head when I'm
you
on
get
stage. Mm-hmm.
Do you still, I'm going to ask, do you still do it? But I know more. I know a lot. We spend a lot of time together.
So I still do it. And it's just because that little knack of creativity of like trying to create my own projects, trying to create these things, trying to create these aesthetics. It goes beyond just like making the music. It's like, how do you tell the story? What pieces are you bringing in? What clothes are you wearing? What message are you trying to say? How do you have visuals that match and reflect that? How do you impact and grow community and outreach and cultivate this fan base? And all these things, you know, it's still boiling it back down to how do you enrich community? And I think that's just a basic principle to me, right? It's not even, at that point, it's not even about the art anymore.
Yeah.
It's more so about understanding pop culture, the relevance, and how do you do it to where it's triggering to build.
Yeah.
And that's something that, you know, being from where I'm from, that's something that's a message, that's an alignment that I want for my community back home.
That's true.
A lot of times, you know, we push kids to sports. I figured making movies was a way I could still tell a story without having to feel like I'm lying in my raps. It was a way for me to like take all these characters, all these people that I know, and have them be a reflective personality within a story. And so when I'm writing, not even just music, but when I'm writing stories, I try to ingrain that into the story just so I can push it back on the people who can identify and reflect. And it's not even like, oh, that's me. This man wrote about me. It's more so about, oh, that's how we all live in. That's how, this is where we all are. So, So, but the short answer is, I still write music. I still kind of think about the aesthetics of albums. I still think about performing on bigger stages. I still have ambitions of Madison Square Garden sellouts. You know what I mean?
Okay. So I'm gonna jump a little bit and ask you on that, right? Like, for you, what's your big picture? And the reason I'm asking that is because you kind of drove us towards that. What's your big picture of if, or, what are your milestones to get to the big picture of saying, okay, will never be content, we're human, but I am in a place where I've been looking forward to be.
Yeah. Trying to see how I'm gonna start this. So okay, I will say this. So I'm gonna start here. 2019 is when I started working at a label, and
Okay.
man, I'll be honest, I was in the worst situation of my life, and I was just like, literally, me and my wife, we went to Cinematography the year prior to meeting Roy, and I was like, looking at all the gear, I was looking at the REs, I was playing with the wireless follow focus. I was like, they got these? They got wireless follow focuses. It was just a WCU4. I was like, whoa, I've never seen this. I was like, I already got LED lights. I didn't even know they made LED lights. I was still used to the Fresnels. And so, and it was funny too, because like my wife went to the RE booth, asked them how much it was a sky panel. She was like, how much is that one? They was like, oh yeah, it's like $5. She said, oh, $5. Walked back to him. She was like, yeah, I was going to try to buy you a light. But he said,
I was going to try to buy you
she was like, they're like $5,600. I was like, yeah, I could have told you. I was like, they don't play around here.
You're buying the Ari name, man.
And so, like, boom, I'm enamored by all that. I'm coming off this feature film with Malik called Stronghold, My Sister's Keeper. It's a superhero
That
movie.
just premiered, right?
That premiered, 3 years ago, maybe.
It was 3 years.
Yeah.
Time goes.
And so, yeah, so this is like end of 2019. We're in the middle of the movie and stuff like that. And I just kind of found myself back into that routine of like, all right, I'm going to wake up. I'm going to do DoorDash. I'm going to go to the gym. This is how I'm making my living at the time. And this is just who I am. And this is what I'm doing until I can figure this out. I got my 5D Mark III. I can leverage this for music videos, whatever. And then I met Roy. I'm here at Alewa. And I had some cool jobs come through. Like I was able to be a part of the first year of Howard West and documenting that, which I thought was so cool. Seeing Google partnership with that. And so, yeah, I'm here. I see the C300 Mark II once again, because that's when I used that Howard West. And I was just like, all right, cool. I want to make sure like I know what I'm doing. And everything that I've done to that point had been self-taught. It was a lot of making mistakes, a lot of getting it wrong, a lot of going, oh, bro, I'm not good at this. I shouldn't do this. It's the worst thing possible. Like I'm messing up every project I do. And so, and at the time, I'm still doing features. Like by that time, I did like 4 features.
Oh, wow.
And I would go into my shots like I don't have the confidence to. I'm not producing. But after watching, I was like, oh, this is actually not too bad. But then that's where editing comes back in, because a lot of shots that I messed up, I had to work with. So in a way, me editing taught me how to be a better shooter. Because I need good shots for it to be a good movie.
Exactly. You have to understand how to cut.
So I learned how to cut around. I learned how to, and I was like, oh, I overexposed the hell out that shot. Let me not do that. Let me not blast these people with a light like this. And let me just, and this is also, I'm not even watching YouTube videos. I'm just going off of pure spirit.
Yeah.
And no, also too, I'm like working at, I think I'm Levi's at this time, or like Shoe Palace. And I was trying to go to school, but I couldn't get it right. So, and also too, I'm making movies, so I'm a little arrogant, right? It's like,
I got 4 features on my belt.
Ain't nobody in the school making movies though. I'm over here making movies. So I had a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, because I was like, well, I'm already doing the thing. Why am I here? I'm already getting paid for doing the thing. Why am I here? But I still want my degree. I still wanted my degree at the time. But back to being here at a label. I had to give you all that brief summary of what life was like.
Oh, that's good.
No, Roy had all the things that I seen at Senegal that year prior. He had the Arri Alexa Mini. Man, I thought I was going to be 37 touching that camera. He had the Arri Alexa Mini. He had the WCU4. I remember it was a rental came back, and it was the Zeiss 28 to 80.
Uh huh.
Um,
We still have that lens, huh?
and I was, it came back, and I was like, well, I gotta see if it still works. So I put it on, RHPL mount. I put it on and all that. And I was like, all right, cool, yeah, yeah. And I put a V mount on, cut the camera on, just see. I was like, yeah, it still works, Ain't no scratches or nothing. I'm checking it out. I'm doing a full inspect.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I put everything back. I was like, how much was that lens? That lens is $26,000, y'all. $26,000. I said, if I would have dropped this camera, I would have to give Roy my car. I was like, Roy would have had one Honda Civic because I didn't drop a $26,000 lens. But since then, being, I guess, in this environment and being like a part of it, I like having conversations with other people who's doing it because you see where their mind is at. And I know you asked a question about like my big pictures and my ambitions. My heart is in making movies.
And as you go into that, like a lot of people definitely come, join us, and they don't survive in it. It's the conversations, and we had that a little earlier in terms of like, we've had those conversations of discipline, right? Because industry, I think everything about it is about the discipline to show up, right? And there's not so many people who. Our industry is not easy.
No.
It looks easy as, it looks easier for most on the outside when you're looking for the glamour side, but when it comes to the work side, it's like someone has to show up every single day, right? Our hours are also the most craziest, right? But are you willing to put in that time to get to where you're going, right? And that's the biggest question, right? Because it's not a 9 to 5, right? But most people are like, okay, I want to do this, but how much do you want that, right?
Yeah.
And to survive in it, it takes that. So, part of it is I commend you for the drive, right? Meaning you had the drive and you showed you wanted to be there, right? Like every day I was like, okay,
Oh, yeah.
all right. He seems like he wants to be here.
Man,
You know
that
what
was
I
the funny
mean?
part. Like, he was like, what are you doing tomorrow? I was like, I was just going to drive Postmates. He's like, did you want to come back
I know.
tomorrow? I was like,
because it's
yeah,
a
man,
drive. It's
better
like
than drive
sometimes you look at it as like, yeah, you can have someone who knows everything, but they don't have the drive to be there, or they don't want to learn, right? Or they just want to do the least they can do to get ahead, right?
Yeah.
But you're still here, so
Yeah.
shows that the drive is there.
And, part of that too was like, I was watching a lot of my friends graduate, and this also goes back to being a young hater. All my friends was graduating, getting their degree, and I was just like, that should be me, that should be me, that should be me. I should be right there with them. I should have my senior thesis. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. And it took a long time for me to figure out, like, everybody's cards is not dealt that way.
That's true.
And a lot of people that I know don't even do film anymore.
That is true.
And in a way, like, part of it, I was building myself up to learn all these things too, is because I was talking to my wife about it. I was like, a lot of my community dropped out of doing it. And I needed somebody to do it, so I had to learn how to do it. I was like, I couldn't reach out, or if I did reach out, I was like, I'm busy, or I was like, well, shit, it still got to get done.
Yeah.
Still got to get done. I still got to be here for it. So, over that time, it's just, I've learned to like quit making the excuses that like not having my degree was one of them. Was like, I can't do it because I don't have my degree. I can't be there because I don't have my degree.
Yeah.
And even though I was still getting jobs, I was still getting paid, I was still doing like videography work on the side. It's just that initial, I gotta do it. I moved from Memphis, from everybody that I love, everybody that watched me grow, everybody who seen me want to do something great. All those people are still rooting for me back home. So I have to go make this happen so we can start building what the rest of our lives will look like.
Amazing, amazing. Moving you back to your big picture.
Hmm.
What is that, and what does that look like?
Man, I need an Oscar. I need one of them gold things. I come from a basketball background. That's my championship ring. So I need that. But my overall goal is definitely, my heart is in movies.
Okay.
That's why I joined this industry. I want to tell stories. I want to create worlds. I want to learn about the wackiest thing and make movies about it. I want to tell narrative pieces that touch and connect with people, especially people in my community, that we have these flaws, or we have these things that we joke about more than we talk about. Like, we have that trauma that we just kind of laugh off, or it is what it is, or that's a part of my personality, or and it kind of instills this subconscious of,
That is true.
I'm not good enough.
Yeah,
I'm not good enough.
that is true.
And so I want to, part of me through the art of, or the medium of film, is like, I want to tell these stories that break those modes and reflect on how, oh, that guy is living just like me. That's how he overcame.
Yeah.
That's how he overcame.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's really why I want to do this even more, and write and tell stories and build upon that. So
That's inspiring. And to you, to be able to do this, and we talk about the spark part of things, or like the internal battles that we all fight. What sparks you, or what keeps you in the industry? Like, looking at all, your friends, probably if you went to a tech job, you probably, be living in Silicon Valley or doing something different.
Yeah.
Like, what keeps you doing what you do?
the fact that I get to do it, that's literally it. Like I said, I was gonna come out here and do something. The fact that I'm doing it, the amount of no's, the amount of, you don't got a plan B? This is plan B. No, you need a plan B. You need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this. Nah, this plan B. This plan A through Z, as a matter of fact. And, it's not even like just peers or people trying to hire me. I'm talking about like families telling me this. And I'm like, yo, I'm telling you, this is what I want to do. I'm looking for y'all support. I'm looking for this. So in a way, it's character building to have to tell somebody that you respect, that you love, no, to go do the thing that you feel is going to empower everything behind you. And, the fruitful part of it is being able to hear the narrative be changed into, oh no, you really doing it. Oh no, you got movies on Tubi. Oh no. So it's very powerful to like see that tile wash over, I guess, especially like the nights of like, oh, this is not gonna work. This is not gonna work.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you grew up here, and I know we've had conversations of like, how do you balance between the two worlds, right? The reality of like the world that family, all those things that you're saying that you keep going through. Sorry. Oh, am I seeing stars
Hey, I just noticed something.
at the door? Okay.
There's aperture lights that are leaning in the frame there.
Good for you. Oh, she's here.
Okay.
4 minutes out. You and I need to finish this conversation.
Yeah.
Let's get Brit in.
Okay.
She's outside. Yeah.
We're gonna finish this.